Recruiting the best talent is crucial for companies to grow and keep the competitive edge. And with the talent shortage, it is a huge challenge which resulted in massive investment from those companies in their recruitment strategy. And as a consequence, agency and in-house recruiters are using the same tools, unlike 5 or 10 years ago. The question is, are staffing agencies still relevant? If we are all using the same tools, why don't we produce the same results? What would you answer to your client if he asks you that question? What's your added value? What are your unique selling points? Why a client should work with you? It is essential for you to be able to answer this question and to understand your added value if you want to be able to sell your services and to stand out. And that's what I'm going to teach you in this video. And first, you need to know the main reason why a company usually works with a staffing agency, so you can target your audience and you know what's their problem. And there are 4 main reasons. Reason number 1, we don't have the expertise or we don't have the tools, so it is a lack of know-how. So for example, a company doesn't have a dedicated recruiter because they don't hire enough or because they don't value recruitment enough to have someone focusing at 100% on recruitment. Or they have a limited budget for recruitment and they don't have enough tools, for example, LinkedIn recruiter accounts. Reason number 2, we can't find a profile we need, so they have a dedicated recruiter, they have a recruitment team, but they tried absolutely everything they could, everything they know, and they are not successful. They are not able to find this profile by themselves. And in this specific context, they are considering hiring a specialist. Reason number 3, it is urgent. Someone just left the company and it is business critical. We need to replace him as soon as possible. Or we have a project where we need an additional profile. Otherwise, we won't meet the target and we will lose money. And the last reason, we don't have enough time or people. So we have the know-how. We know how to find those people, but because we are understaffed or because a peak of activity, we are temporarily not able to absorb all the requests. It is way too much for the recruitment team and we can't keep the pace. And big companies are aware that they may encounter any of these 4 situations, and this is why they have a PSL to help them when it happens. And it is very important to know in which situation your prospect is or might be and to understand the problem. Why are they not able to recruit by themselves? And then the next step is to understand the impact on their business. What happens if they don't find the right profile or not fast enough? And this is how you are able to sell your services. And to sell your services, you need to know your added value. So what's your added value as a staffing agency? And I personally find 10 areas where a staffing agency makes a difference. And the first one is the know-how and the expertise. Many staffing agencies are doing this for decades, and recruitment is not a strategic department in the company. Recruiting is their core business. Sourcing, digital marketing, process control, interview preparation, in-depth screening, objections handling, negotiations, closing, getting referrals. You will benefit from an unparalleled expertise when it comes to recruitment. Number 2, the market knowledge. Most staffing agencies are organized in vertical market, which means that as an agency recruiter, you will be exclusively focusing and placing, for example, cybersecurity engineers or accountants or sales or IT project managers, etc. And as a consequence, he is in a very good situation to share market insight, for example, about market standards salary-wise, or he can advise you on how realistic are your expectations. He can guide you with relevant questions to help you to have a better understanding of what you need. He can share market trends, what your competitors are doing, etc. And number 3, the network. Because the recruiter is focusing on one market and is working with many different clients, he builds a solid network and candidates pipeline. And number 4, an in-house recruiter and an agency recruiter won't have the same reach, and that for multiple reasons. And the first reason is the candidate's preference. A candidate may be open to discuss with an agency, but not with an end client because he wants the agency to do the job for him, for example. He wants to keep a single point of contact for all these opportunities. Number 2, agencies might use channels that you don't, for example, social media, or where you don't have their presence. Number 3, a staffing agency can attract profiles and then clients wouldn't have because some misconceptions or a negative opinion associated to their name. And now that they have a direct contact, the agency recruiter can reassure the candidate or give another perspective. And last but not least, there are candidates that your client is not allowed to approach because of a tacit or gentleman agreement with a competitor, for example, because of a non-poaching clause with a provider or a client. Number 5, the tools. As a staffing agency, as recruitment is your core business, most probably you are using tools that your client is not using and you don't charge anything for that. It is included in your fee. And number 6, the long-term benefit, because in the same ID, not only you may post an ad on a job board where your client doesn't have visibility yet, but also you can help him to improve, review, or design a new job advert from scratch. And of course, as a client, you are free to use this template for your next jobs if you like it without paying anything for that. Number 7, the database. So one of the points of this video was to demonstrate that The database is far from being the only or the main added value of using a staffing agency. And this is why many staffing agencies are doing an excellent job without having a huge database. But of course, a staffing agency, they develop a qualitative database with powerful features over the past 5, 10, 15 years. It's a game changer. If you are an in-house recruiter, most likely they will be faster than you and they will come with more profiles. Number 8, confidentiality. So as a staffing agency, you may attract more candidates, more profiles because they feel more safe, especially for high-level roles or in niche markets because it is a small world. But this confidentiality is also very useful as a company if you need to replace someone at a strategic level, for example, and you need to replace him under the radar. Number 9, flexibility. A staffing agency can adapt easily to your need and allocate more resources if needed. On the other hand, an internal recruitment team can be very quickly overwhelmed. And number 10, the nature of the relationship. There are some candidates that are working with the same recruiters for many years already. Some others are working on exclusivity with a recruiter. Some even became friends. So yes, staffing agencies have not said their last word yet, and they are more relevant than ever, and it was far from being exhaustive. And as an agency recruiter, not only you have much more to offer than your database, but more importantly, don't ever forget how valuable your work is. And it might be easy to forget sometimes, I know. But if you are not convinced yourself, how to convince your prospect? And the last important thing, if you made it that far, and especially if it's not your first time on the channel, please subscribe. Like the video and let me know in the comment section if you find any value in my videos. Thank you very much. It is really helpful. See you in the next one.